What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Mike for the co-pilot wrestling community, and I just want to bring this up. I happened to earlier this morning. I came across this individual who was advertised, who was highlighted on Morning Joe weekends, recapping what happened this past week. Last week. But anyway, so I discovered this YouTuber by the name of Cleo Abram, as you can see there. So her YouTube channel is huge. Was it huge? If believed. So this is just a message and a warning to the AEW fan that's in the YWC, saying that complaining about women since 2019. Dude, I don't think they post photo. Well, they're on Instagram, but I think they don't post photos of themselves in provocative clothing like you say they do. So this person talks about random stuff. So for saying that women are this generation are bad, well, there's your proof right there. 8 million subscribers. 8.16 million subscribers. So, I don't know. So, but let's get back to the original scheduled program, the AEW Collision recap and review.
Destroyed a guy named Alan Angels in under 2 minutes, declared his faction the most violent in all of AEW, and then, before the night was over, had systematically backed the AEW Continental Champion into a title match. No title shot earned in a match, no tournament, just pure, calculated intimidation. Welcome to Co-Pilot Podcasts. Today we are breaking down AEW Collision, June 6, 2026, every match, every moment, every faction move. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what went down in Youngstown, why Shane Taylor might be the most dangerous man in AEW right now, and what this episode is setting up heading into Summer Blockbuster and Forbidden Door. I've got the perfect person to walk us through all of it, so let's get into it. What was the vibe going into this episode?
So the vibe going in was genuinely stacked. According to the official AEW results page, this was episode 147 of Collision, live from the Covelli Center in Youngstown, Ohio, airing on TNT and HBO Max simultaneously. You had 2 title matches on the card, the Women's World Tag Team Championships and the World Trios Championships, plus an Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament quarterfinal as the main event. That's a lot of stakes for a Saturday night.
Right, and for anyone who maybe isn't super deep into AEW's weekly structure, what exactly is Collision as a show? Like, where does it sit?
So, according to Wikipedia, Collision is AEW's second main program, positioned behind Wednesday Night Dynamite. It airs live every Saturday at 8 Eastern on TNT, and since January of 2025, it's been simulcast on HBO Max as well. The show premiered June 17th, 2023, and here's a fun historical footnote. It's actually the first Saturday Night Wrestling show on a Ted Turner network since WCW Saturday Night ended on June 24th, 2000. So there was a 23-year gap before Saturday Night Wrestling came back to that network family.
Wait, 23 years? That's wild. So Collision is kind of carrying a legacy it probably doesn't even advertise.
Exactly, and it's got Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness on commentary, which, if you know your wrestling history, Schiavone was the voice of WCW. So there's a full circle thing happening there that fans who've been around a while definitely feel.
Okay, so let's get into the actual show. The opening match was the Women's World Tag Team Championship. Divine Dominion defending against Tay-J. How did Tay-J even get this shot?
So, according to Wrestling Inc., Tay-J, that's Tay Mello and Anna Jay, earned the title shot by lasting 5 minutes in a 5-minute tag title eliminator match the week before. So, they didn't win a match to get here, they just survived long enough. Which is a cool wrinkle because it means they came in with momentum but also with something to prove.
And Divine Dominion, Megan Bayne, and Lena Cross, they're the champs going in. What's their deal?
Bayne goes by the Megasus, and Cross is colossal, according to the official AEW results. They're a physically imposing team. Their finisher is called Divine Intervention. And this match, per the Raja.com recap, started with Bayne just shoving Anna Jay in the face right at the bell. Very much a power versus speed dynamic from the jump.
So how did the match actually play out? Walk me through it.
It was genuinely competitive. According to the Raja.com detailed recap, Anna tried a bulldog early, but Bayne stuffed it. Cross tagged in and tried to hit Divine Intervention, but Anna slipped out and tagged Tay. Tay-J then double-teamed Cross. Tay got a near fall off a running knee, and then a 4-way brawl broke out, where Tay-J dumped both champions to the outside and hit stereo crossbodies off the top. The crowd had to be losing it at that point.
Okay, so Tay-J looked like they might actually pull it off.
They really did. But after the commercial break, Anna got isolated and worked over. She eventually fought back with a rope-assisted bulldog and made the hot tag to Tay. Tay unloaded, multiple blows, 3 pump kicks, a running knee, a hammerlock spike takedown for a 2 count. Then it got chaotic again. Tay-J landed a double-team DDT on Cross, Bayne broke it up. All 4 women were wiped out on the mat at one point.
So what was the finish?
Anna locked in the Queenslayer sleeper hold on Cross, twice, actually. The first time, Bayne broke it up and pulled Tay to the floor. Anna sank it back in, but Cross drove her into the turnbuckle to break the grip. That set up Divine Dominion to hit Divine Intervention for the pinfall. According to both the official AEW results and WrestleZone, Divine Dominion retained. WrestleZone gave the match a B+ grade, solid opener, nothing earth-shattering, but a good competitive match.
B+ feels right. Like, you wanted Tay-J to win, but you weren't robbed of anything. The champs looked strong.
Exactly. And the official AEW recap actually called it the toughest challenge yet for Divine Dominion, which tells you something about how they're building Tay-J even in defeat.
Okay, so after that match, what happened backstage? Because apparently the Don Callis family was doing something.
Yeah, so according to Fightful and Sports Illustrated, the Don Callis family was backstage beating up a bunch of local enhancement talent, basically just roughing up random people, while Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero cut a promo burying former member Konosuke Takeshita. Beretta called Takeshita, quote, the cancer that was cut out of the family. And apparently Trent also got a new wristwatch, which AEW's official Twitter account made a whole thing about.
The wristwatch detail is sending me. That's such a specific flex.
It's very Don Callis family energy. They're thriving, they want you to know it, and they're doing it while someone is getting powerbombed in the background.
Okay, so then we get to Shane Taylor versus Alan Angels. And this is where the episode really starts to build something bigger. Set this up.
So, first, Alan Angels returning to AEW was apparently a surprise, according to Sports Illustrated, and it was not a great homecoming. Shane Taylor, accompanied by the rest of Shane Taylor Promotions, absolutely dominated him. According to WrestleZone, Taylor won with a piledriver. Raja.com says it was a package powerbomb. Either way, it was quick and decisive. Angels barely got anything in.
So it was essentially a squash match to make Taylor look like a monster.
Completely. And then Taylor grabbed the mic and said, and this is from the official AEW results, that Shane Taylor Promotions will be, quote, the most violent group that AEW has ever seen. He was directly challenging the Death Riders' reputation as the most brutal faction in the company. That's a massive statement to make.
And the Death Riders, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, they're not exactly a group you want to poke.
No, and they didn't wait long to respond. According to Fightful, the Death Riders came out and a trios match happened right there. Moxley, Claudio, and Pac versus Shane Taylor Promotions, specifically Lee Moriarty and the Infantry, which is Sean Dean and Carly Bravo. The Death Riders won. E-Wrestling News says it was via submission.
So the Death Riders win the match, but Taylor isn't done.
Not even close. This is where it gets really calculated. According to the official AEW results, Shane Taylor and Trish Adora went backstage and took out Wheeler Yuta, who is part of the Death Riders extended group. And then Taylor used that as leverage to get Jon Moxley to agree to a Continental Championship match on Dynamite. He didn't win a number one contender match. He didn't earn it in a tournament. He just hurt someone Moxley cares about and said, now give me the title shot.
That is genuinely cold. Like, that's a villain move. You don't beat the champion's friend in a match. You just hurt them and use it as a bargaining chip.
And Moxley accepted, according to the official AEW recap. So Taylor walked into Youngstown with a plan and walked out with exactly what he wanted. That's the story of the night, honestly. The chess match was more interesting than any individual match result.
Yeah, and it's a really smart way to build a faction threat without just having them win every match. They're playing a longer game.
Exactly. And it sets up something real for Dynamite, which is what a good Collision episode should do. It should make you want to tune in Wednesday.
Okay, let's talk about Tommaso Ciampa versus BEF, because I have heard things about this match that I need you to explain. So the match itself, Ciampa wins, and he wins via submission using the Lion Tamer, which is Chris Jericho's signature hold. That's already a statement. But then, according to eWrestling News, Ciampa kept the hold locked in after the match and demanded that Tony Schiavone grab a microphone and tell everyone on air that Tommaso Ciampa is better than Chris Jericho. And Schiavone eventually did it, and then Ciampa let go. Wait, he made the announcer say it while someone was still in the hold.
While BEF was still locked in the Lion Tamer, yes. It's psychological warfare. He's not just beating people, he's making the broadcast itself deliver his message. That's a level of heel work that's genuinely unhinged in the best way.
And this is all pointed at Jericho. So Ciampa is building towards something with Y2J.
That's the clear direction. Using Jericho's own hold, forcing the announcer to say, you're better than him, that's a very specific, very personal kind of provocation. Jericho is going to have to respond to that.
Okay, then we had Clark Connors versus Juice Robinson. What happened there?
Clark Connors, who goes by 100 Proof and is part of the Dogs, defeated Juice Robinson of the Bang Bang Gang. According to Wrestling Inc., this was a bit of a revenge match. Juice was looking to get even with Connors after the Dogs beat the Guns the week before, with David Finlay using his Shillelagh to help secure that win. Connors got the win here. And then, according to the official AEW results, the Dogs called out the Young Bucks for a match at Summer Blockbuster.
So the Dogs are escalating. They beat the Guns, they beat Juice, now they want the Young Bucks. That's a ladder climb.
It's a very deliberate one. And Summer Blockbuster is clearly shaping up to be a big show. We've got Swerve Strickland versus Brody King announced for the Owen Cup semifinals, the Dogs versus Young Bucks, and now Moxley's Continental Championship defense against Taylor on Dynamite leading into it.
Before we get to the main event, there was also a TBS Championship announcement. What was that about?
Yeah, according to Fightful, 6 women were announced as qualifiers for the TBS Championship Survival of the Fittest. Hikaru Shida, Chris Statlander, Mina Shirakawa, Harley Cameron, Queen Aminata, and Zayda Steele. So the women's division is getting a lot of attention on this episode between that announcement, the tag title match, and the main event.
That's actually a really stacked Survival of the Fittest field. Shida and Statlander alone is a story.
Completely. And it shows AEW is building depth in the women's division across multiple titles and tournaments simultaneously, which is something fans have been asking for.
Okay, the Trios Championship match, Conglomeration versus LFI. This was the semi-main event. What's the context going in?
So, the Conglomeration, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong are the AEW World Trios Champions. According to the official AEW results, this was their 3rd successful defense of those titles. They were defending against La Facción Ingobernable, which is Rush, Dralistico, and Sammy Guevara, who is also the ROH World Tag Team Champion. And according to Wrestling Inc., Rush had just lost to MJF on Dynamite the Wednesday before, so he was coming in hungry.
So LFI had motivation. Did they push the Conglomeration?
The results say the Conglomeration retained, so they got the job done. And then immediately after, according to the official AEW recap, Orange Cassidy was challenged by Andrade El Idolo for a match at Dynamite Summer Blockbuster, and Cassidy accepted. So Cassidy goes from defending the Trios titles to immediately booking himself into another high-profile match. That's a busy Wednesday coming up.
Freshly squeezed doesn't rest. Okay, the main event. Hazuki versus Persephone. Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament quarterfinal. This is the match that headlined the show, according to Fightful. Walk me through it.
So first, the context. According to Ringside News, Hazuki is from Stardom, one of the biggest women's wrestling promotions in Japan. Persephone is the CMLL World Women's Champion. So this quarterfinal was essentially a cross-promotional dream match between two major women's wrestling brands outside of AEW. And according to Wrestling Inc., Hazuki had just debuted in AEW the week before, beating Maya World, while Persephone was on commentary watching.
So they'd already been in each other's orbit for a week before this match. There was already tension built.
Exactly. And Wrestling Inc. also noted that Persephone had been cleared from a missed attack she'd received from Julia Hart, so she was coming in healthy and ready. Hazuki won the match and advances to the semi-finals of the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament, where she will face Mercedes Moné.
And then Moné didn't wait for the semifinal to start things.
Not at all. According to Fightful and the official AEW results, Mercedes Moné attacked Persephone after the match, even though Persephone had just lost. Hazuki made the save, and then Hazuki and Moné brawled all the way to the end of the broadcast. That's how Collision closed. Two women who are about to meet in a tournament semi-final already going at it on the floor.
That's a great visual to end a show on. It's chaotic, but it's purposeful chaos. It tells you exactly what the next chapter is.
And Moné had just returned to AEW on Dynamite the Wednesday before this, according to the official AEW website. So she came back, immediately inserted herself into the Owen Hart tournament picture, and then made sure everyone knew she wasn't waiting around. The CEO is back, and she's not being patient about it.
Okay, so let's zoom out. When you look at this episode as a whole, what was it actually doing? Like, what was the job of this collision?
The job was to build. 2 title defenses held, Divine Union and the Conglomeration both retained. The Shane Taylor story advanced in a really smart, methodical way. Ciampa sent a message to Jericho that's going to demand a response. The Dogs escalated their faction war, and the women's division got 3 separate storyline beats in one night. The tag title match, the TBS Survival of the Fittest announcement, and the Hazuki Moné confrontation.
So it wasn't a show where everything blew up. It was a show where everything got pointed in a direction.
Exactly. And that's actually what a good weekly wrestling show should do. You don't need a title change every week. You need to make the audience feel like things are moving, like there are consequences, like the next show matters. And this Collision did that across basically every storyline it touched.
The Shane Taylor thing specifically, I keep coming back to it, because he didn't just talk. He moved pieces. He squashed Angels to establish dominance. He called out the Death Riders to establish intent. His faction lost the trios match, but he personally took out Yuta to establish leverage, and he walked out with a Continental Championship match. That's a full arc in one episode.
And the thing that makes it work is that Moxley accepting the match wasn't weakness. It was Moxley being Moxley. He's not going to back down from a fight. Taylor knew that. He engineered a situation where Moxley's own nature would force him into the match Taylor wanted. That's genuinely clever booking.
And then there's Ciampa forcing Schiavone to say he's better than Jericho on the microphone. Like, that moment is going to live in people's heads. It's the kind of thing that gets clipped and shared.
It's unhinged in a way that feels earned. Ciampa has been building this Jericho feud and using Jericho's own hold and then making the broadcast itself deliver his message. That's a level of specificity in heel work that you don't always see. It's not just, I'm better than you. It's, I'm going to make the institution of this show say, I'm better than you.
Okay, so here's a question. Was there anything on this show that felt like it under-delivered? Any part of the card that didn't quite land?
Honestly, the Alan Angel's return felt a little hollow. He came back and got squashed immediately, which served Taylor's story but didn't do anything for Angels. If you're a fan of his, that's a tough watch. And the Juice Robinson versus Clark Connors match, it served its purpose for the Dogs' storyline, but it wasn't a match that's going to be talked about on its own merits.
Fair. Not every match on a 2-hour weekly show can be a banger. Some of them are just moving pieces.
Right. And the show was smart enough to put its most compelling storytelling, the Shane Taylor arc, the Ciampa moment, the Hazuki Moné confrontation, in positions where they'd land with maximum impact. The structure of the episode was solid.
What about the main event specifically? Hazuki versus Persephone. Did it deliver as a main event?
The results across Fightful, Sports Illustrated, and the official AEW site all confirm Hazuki won and advanced, and the post-match brawl with Moné is what everyone's going to remember. The match itself was the vehicle for the Moné angle. Whether it delivered as a standalone main event probably depends on how invested you are in the Owen Hart tournament specifically.
And heading into Summer Blockbuster and Forbidden Door, What are the threads that this episode is pulling toward?
So from this episode alone, Moxley defends the Continental Championship against Shane Taylor on Dynamite. Orange Cassidy faces Andrade El Idolo at Summer Blockbuster. The Dogs challenge the Young Bucks for Summer Blockbuster. Swerve Strickland and Brody King clash in the Owen Cup semi-finals on Dynamite. That was announced via a promo package during the show. And Hazuki meets Mercedes Moné in the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament semi-finals. That's a lot of threads all pulling tight at once.
So when you step back from